For days, Adeabi had been dreaming of a place she'd never seen. A tree with silver bark. A voice calling her name, not from the outside, but from deep within. She could no longer ignore it. "The forest awaits," Mama Ik said simply. Adeabi said nothing, only nodded. This time, she wasn't alone. 3 elders followed. Nkemdelim's mother clutched a small woven basket filled with offering. They moved silently, into the wild. As they entered the sacred forest, a strange hush fell over them. A presence older than the village itself. Adeabi was the first to see it, the grove where the trees looked older than time. "This is the place from my dreams," she said. Mama Ik handed her a calabash filled with spring water. "Pour it at the base. Call her name." Adeabi's hands trembled. She knelt and poured the water slowly, murmuring, "Nkemdelim. Nkem, come back to me." The leaves above rustled. A soft wind circled them. Then a voice, small and distant, "Ada." Everyone froze. A figure emerged from behind, not a girl. Not a ghost. Something in between. Her eyes glowed faintly, and her feet made no sound as she walked. "Nkemdelim." She looked at Adeabi with eyes filled with unspoken memory. Adeabi broke into tears. "Do you remember me?" Nkemdelim looked at her long and hard. Then slowly, she extended her hand. "You held my hand in the darkness. You sang to me. You didn't let go." Adeabi embraced her. The air around them warm. The forest stirred. A great sigh moved through the trees, and the glow of the sacred grove dimmed softly. "She has returned," Mama Ik whispered. But something else had returned too. Behind a silver tree, an ancient mask hung on the trunk, the same mask from Adeabi's old dreams. And from far away, deeper in the forest, came a low drumbeat, steady, slow, and ominous. The return of Nkemdelim should have brought peace to Ukam village, but instead, it stirred more questions than answers. Chief Anazi summoned the council the next day. "The forest gave her back," he said, "but what did it take in return?" Only Mama Ik spoke. "There are old stories of spirits that return wearing borrowed faces." That evening, Adeabi sat with Nkemdelim on the porch. The girl barely spoke. Her eyes seemed to be watching things no one else could see. Sometimes, she would tilt her head, listening to a voice no one else heard. "Do you remember what happened in the forest?" Adeabi asked gently. Nkemdelim shook her head. "I remember floating, then a mirror. It showed me myself, but also someone else. She wore my face. She was hungry." Adeabi's heart clenched. She knew what Nkemdelim meant. That night, Adeabi returned to the silver grove alone. The mask was still there, hanging on the tree. But now, there was something else beneath it, a blackened mirror embedded in the tree's bark. As Adeabi approached, her reflection appeared, but not as she was. Her widow's wrapper had turned crimson, her face older, her eyes hollow. Suddenly, the reflection moved on its own. It raised a hand before she did. Then it said, "The forest never forgets. The forest never forgives." Adeabi staggered back, heart racing. She turned to flee, but something held her foot. A hand. She screamed. In the village, Nkemdelim sat up in bed, eyes wide. "She's in danger." Before anyone could stop her, Nkemdelim raced into the night. Mama Ik and 2 hunters followed. When they found Adeabi, she was unconscious beneath the silver tree, the mirror cracked across its surface. The mask was gone. Nkemdelim knelt beside her. Her eyes glowed again. "She saw too much," she said in a voice not entirely her own. Mama Ik stared at the child. "Who are you?" Nkemdelim looked up. Her eyes flickered from gold to black. "I am the one she left behind. The other widow. The one the village tried to forget." Thunder cracked overhead. The mask had chosen another face. Adeabi awoke in her own bed, drenched in sweat and shaking. Nkemdilim sat beside her, watching silently. For a long time, they said nothing. "You saw her, didn't you?" Nkemdilim finally whispered. Adeabi nodded. "Not just saw. I felt her. Her pain, her fury, her betrayal." Mama Ik entered with a calabash of herbs and water. She set it down. "You met the one they buried in stories. The first widow. She wants me to remember," Adeabi said. "But I don't know what." "Because it's not your memory," Mama Ik said gently. "It's hers." That evening, Adeabi called for the elders. She told them everything. The mirror. The voice. The forest. The face in the reflection. Silence blanketed the gathering until Chief Anazi spoke. "There is something I never said. Something my grandfather told me." He paused. "Many years ago, there was a woman named Obianuju. Her husband died mysteriously. The village blamed her. Called her cursed. When her child disappeared, they banished her into the sacred forest. She never returned." Mama Ik added, "They said she wore a mask after that. To hide her grief or her rage." Adeabi stood. "Then that is who she is. Obianuju. The forgotten widow. She has worn my face, lived in my silence." She looked at Nkemdilim. "And now, she wants to live again." That night, Adeabi returned to the forest, not to run, but to speak. "Obianuju," Adeabi said, voice steady. "You were wronged. You were silenced. But I am not your vessel. I will carry your truth, not your vengeance." Then, Obianuju appeared. Her face was identical to Adeabi's, but older, burdened, burning with sorrow. "Let them remember you," Adeabi said. "But do not make them fear you." Obianuju reached forward, her fingers brushing Adeabi's forehead. A flood of memories surged, her child's laughter, her cries in the dark, the stones thrown by villagers, the lonely years in the forest. Then she smiled. For the first time. The mask dropped from the trees. Obianuju vanished in a swirl of light. The mirror cracked again, then dissolved into ash. Adeabi fell to her knees, sobbing. But it was over. For now. The sun rose gently over Ukam. For the first time in many seasons, the village square felt lighter, as if an old weight had been lifted from the soil. At dawn, Adeabi emerged from her compound, dressed not in black, but in a wrapper of brilliant blue. Her shoulders were bare, her head high. She walked with Nkemdilim to the shrine, where the cracked mask now lay displayed atop a carved wooden pedestal. Not as a warning, but as remembrance. Chief Anazi stood beside Mama Ik, flanked by the village elders and children. For the first time, the people gathered not to judge the widow, but to listen. "Let this day be known as Obianuju's Day," Adeabi said. "A day we remember those we wronged. A day we remember those whose cries we buried beneath our silence." She turned to the villagers. "For generations, we taught our daughters to be silent and our widows to hide. Today, that ends." Then, from the back of the crowd, women stepped forward, widows, wives, and daughters joined. Adeabi, circling the mask. They chanted, not in sorrow, but in strength. The old women wept. Men bowed their heads. Children stared, wide-eyed, not in fear, but awe. Mama Ik began a song of memory. And the villagers joined. From that night, the path to the sacred forest was no longer feared, it was declared a place of peace, Obianuju's grove. Adeabi sat by the fire with Nkemdilim. "She's at peace now," the girl said. Adeabi smiled. "Yes. And so am I." Please subscribe.